Hey guys, it's Scott here, and in this video we're going to take a look at all the horses that have raced, so far this year, the Oaks Trail, older horses, fillies, and we're going to rank them in a tier rank, based on from best to worst. Think of S tier as like, God tier, like really good horse, and think of D tier as, worst. And, we're going to kind of do these. I'm going to pick and choose which ones to put, and we're going to start with the Kentucky Derby winner first, Rich Strike, and I'm going to go ahead and kick it off by putting Rich Strike in the D tier. I think Rich Strike's Derby win was a just kind of a once in a lifetime fluke, and this horse did kind of impress me just slightly because I didn't think it was going to do as good as he did in the Trevors and the Belmont. The horse I believe got fifth in the Belmont, and that being said, I just think Rich Strike, other than racing at Churchill, is just a way cut below a lot of these other horses, especially when you start getting to the older male division. You got Life is Good, Olympiad, Flightline, all of them. So that being said, I'm gonna put Rich Strike in the D tier. And next, we're gonna get to the Preakness winner, early voting, and I'm gonna put early voting also in the D tier for now. Other than the Preakness win, the last couple races, I just haven't been impressed with what it's done. I think this horse has gotten seriously off form since the Preakness, and I don't know if it's gonna reverse form and come back, or if this is kind of beginning of the end where you just don't see early voting race next year and ends up getting retired. But if it would have held the form from the Prince, I could see maybe C tier or B tier. But just to getting to be badly off form, I'm gonna throw this horse in the D tier for now. And next, we're gonna get into Nest, and I'm gonna put Nest in the A tier as this horse, since the Kentucky Oaks has just dominated the fillies. Nest got second to Secret Oath, but then proceeded to beat Secret Oath twice since then, and it looks like Nest just taking that step forward to become the top field. I can't wait to see what Nest does going against the older fillies, as I think they're all kind of evenly matched this year in that division. So the Breeders' Cup distaff is going to be exciting to watch. So I'm going to put Nest in the A tier for now. And next, I'm going to go with Art Collector, and I'm going to put Art Collector in the C tier. And I do that. I know Art Collector, on his best day could run, really good against some of these horses, but you don't ever know like which Art Collector is going to show up anymore. And I know Art Collector won the Charlestown Classic, but the Charlestown Classic was not really that strong of a field this year. And that being said, I'm just going to throw Art Collector in C tier. I think he's just a average good horse. On his best day, he could be, win a greatest stakes race, and then he can have some days where you wonder what happened and you lose your money. And the next horse I'm going to go with is going to be Taiba. And I'm going to put Taiba into B tier right now. And I'll put Taiba there. It's still a lightly raced horse. I think Taiba still has room to improve. I fully expect Taiba to win the Pennsylvania Derby. I think it's his race to lose. They did kind of throw the horse in some deep waters early on. He went from a 6 furlong sprint to Santa Anita Derby and then right straight to Kentucky Derby. And I think this horse needs more time to develop. Now the horse is back under Baffert. So we'll see what happens. But, Pennsylvania Derby win, I don't think, unless he could certainly go down in these future rankings if he runs bad. But for now, I'm just going to put Taiba in the B tier. And the next horse is going to be Speaker's Corner. And I don't know what happened to Speaker's Corner, because earlier this horse was really good, especially down at Gulfstream. And then it even won the Carter in impressive fashion. But ever since running into Flightline, this horse has seriously gotten off form. And for that, I'm going to throw the horse into C tier for now. And, with another bad race, I might consider putting the horse down in the D tier. But, for now, it's kind of based on what happened early in the year, how good the horse was. I'm going to go with C tier. And the next horse I'm going to go with is Life is Good. And I'm going to put Life is Good in the I'm not sure if Life is Good wants to go a mile and a quarter or not. Uh, in the Whitney, I actually thought Turner for Home, the horse is going to lose to Happy Saver, but Life is Good held on to win the race. And, the Pegasus Life is Good ran really, really good, but that was, way back in January, and this is September. So, a lot can change between now and then as far as the horse's form goes. But for now, based on it's really done nothing super wrong to, bump me down from anything other than A tier. And it's got some Breeders' Cup winner, Pegasus winner. So that's also bring me to Jackie's Warrior. And I'm going to put Jackie's Warrior in A tier. And I just think that Jackie's Warrior is one of the best sprinters in the country right now. I'm going to forgive Jackie's Warrior on that last race. I think that you'll see and I can't remember if it's 6.5 furlongs what the Breeders' Cup sprints ran in at Keeneland, but that distance is well within what Jackie's working. Do I think you start getting to 7 furlongs at a mile, you might be getting out of what Jackie's Warrior likes to do a lot. But for now, based on being a dominant sprinter, Jackie's Warrior will be in the A tier, and that's going to bring me to Olympiad. And I'm also going to put Olympiad in the A tier, and I'm going to do that because I think Olympiad has a good chance to get a good solid second in the Breeders' Cup. It looked really good in this last race at Belmont at going 1.25 miles. The Suburban, I can't remember the name of the race, but anyways, he was 1.25 miles and he won, and then he had that like 5 race streak to start the year, and then just in the Whitney kind of ran off form against Life is Good, but he showed me he could bounce back, and winning this last race, and I think Olympia is going to be a factor in the Breeders' Cup this year. So, given his resume, I'll have to just put Olympiad in the A tier for now. And next horse I'm going to get into is Secret Oath, and I'm going to put Secret Oath into C tier, and I'm going to do that because I know Secret Oath looked really good winning the Kentucky Oaks, but I just don't think this horse has taken a step forward off any of that effort. And I think Nest has been the filly that's taken the step forward. So that being said, I'm going to put Secret Oath in C tier, and this horse will have to show it can step up and win a race like the Breeders' Cup for me to take the horse off there. And next horse I'm going to do is Country Grammar, and a couple months ago I might even consider putting Country Grammar in the A tier, but this horse has kind of fallen out of favor with me enough that I'm going to put the horse in the C tier. I do certainly got to respect this Dubai win, but ever since it came back to America, it's raced twice and it hasn't won. And I just think that in the Breeders' Cup, I don't see him being able to turn the tables in this race. So for that, I'm going to put Country Grammar in the C tier. And then next horse we're going to get into is Cyberknife, and I'm also going to put Cyberknife into C tier. And I do that because I know the horse won the Haskell, but he also won the Haskell by kind of getting the rail trip, whereas Taiba came out wide. And then in the Travers, I thought Cyberknife was able to set a comfortable pace well within himself, and he couldn't get the job done against Epicenter. And he near about lost second to Zandon. And, that being said, I just think that, Cyberknife, I don't know if maybe at this stage he wants to go 1.25 miles, maybe 1.125 miles might be more within himself. But I think when it comes to the Breeders' Cup, this horse is not going to, end up winning the Breeders' Cup. And that's going to bring me into Zandon. And I'm also going to put Zandon in the C tier. I think this horse kind of developed a habit of just finishing in the money constantly. Horse that really impressed one in the Bluegrass earlier in the year, but he always comes with a run, but that run just never seems to be enough to get to the winner's circle always. So for that, Zandon kind of gets C tier in my book. And the next horse is going to be Hot Rod Charlie, and Hot Rod Charlie is also going to go to C tier for me. And I don't think Hot Rod Charlie's really made the big time jump from 3-year-old to 4-year-old. I think he'd just be a solid horse in the older division. Certainly capable of sneaking up, winning a couple of grade threes. Maybe a grade 2 on his best day, but I just don't see this horse being able to pull off the upset in the Breeders' Cup. So that being said, I'm gonna put Hot Rod Charlie into C tier. And the next horse I'm gonna get into is Royal Ship, and I'm gonna put Royal Ship into D tier. I'm just not a fan of this horse. I know he won the San Diego Handicap, I believe it was, over Country Grammar, but the horse is too inconsistent. One day it'll run first, and the next day it'll, finish off the money. I don't like that kind of inconsistency. So, for that, I'm gonna put Royal Ship down in the, D tier just off the inconsistency. And next, we're going to get to a horse that, I think a lot more people care about, and that's going to be Epicenter. And I'm going to put Epicenter into A tier. And I'm going to do because, I think Epicenter has taken that step forward to, becoming the dominant 3-year-old this year. It's kind of like the Nest, but for the, males. And, Epicenter himself, won the Jim Dandy, won the Travers. I fully expect he's going to come another solid effort in the Breeders' Cup. I don't think it's going to be quite enough to win, but for now, Epicenter being the best 3-year-old in my opinion, I'm going to put the horse into A tier. And next, we're getting a horse thing everybody's interested in seeing where I put him, and that's going to be Flightline. And I kind of held this horse towards the end on purpose. just to kind of build a suspense. But I'm gonna put Flightline into S tier. Flightline is just, if this horse wins the Breeders' Cup, I think you're really going to start hearing this horse be talked about among the best horses of all time, especially if it can win by double-digit lengths. And this horse, I believe, is 5 for 5 lifetime. It's just looked better and better. It seems like every time it races. And just for that alone, I think Flightline goes in the S tier. I think he's going to win the Breeders' Cup. I just don't, at this point, just don't see how he does it unless he just wakes up and has a bad day. But if he runs like Flightline is capable of running, then all these other horses are going to be running for who can be, second place. So Flightline gets S tier for me. And next, I'm going to go into Happy Saber. And I'm going to put Happy Saber into C tier. And I do that because I think Happy Saber just always comes with a run, like in the Met Mile and in the Whitney, but it's not quite good enough to get first. And, the Breeders' Cup, I see his horse getting in the top, the third or fourth place in the Superfecta, but I think that's about it still. And so for that, I'm going to have to go with the C tier. And the next horse is going to be Malachite. And finally, Taiba's going to have some company in the B tier because that's where Malachite is going. And I think Malachite is, very solid. I'm not sure Malachite has quite taken the full step forward, being that really good 3-year-old to being, the dominant 4-year-old. I think that, the 3-year-olds and 4-year-old fillies all kind of closely are within each other. But Malachite's best day, Malachite is certainly capable of winning the Breeders' Cup. And, Malachite always shows up and seems to run a top 2 effort. So that being said, Malachite's going to go in the B tier for me. And next is going to be American Revolution. And American Revolution, if you were racing at the New York tracks, I have to put American Revolution in the A tier. Uh, if you're racing anywhere else, it probably belongs in C tier. So that being said, I'm going to give it some company and put American Revolution into, B tier. And, unfortunately for American Revolution, the Breeders' Cup is going to be at Keeneland. So I don't think American Revolution is going to win. But, certainly I think you start getting back to some of these New York tracks, American Revolution could, run the table out there and win some races. And the next is going to be Clairiere. And I'm also going to put Clairiere into the A tier. And I'm going to do that because this horse, I think she's taken a step forward as an older filly for Asmussen. And I know the last race she didn't fire, but Jackie's Ward didn't do good that day. This maybe Asmussen have his barn ready to fire. I think he's got the Breeders' Cup, the distaff and the sprint ultimately in mind with his horses. So I just think that Clairiere, will get back more to that effort come Breeders' Cup, and I'm going to forgive her effort in the last race in golf, what she did, the first half of the year. And with that being said, I think, she's certainly one of the top fillies, and that alone to me would, have to put the horse into A tier. And last is going to be Latruska, and I'm going to put Latruska down in the, I'll put her in the C tier. And, Latruska was really good last year and then, the first part of this year, but I think this horse's form has kind of tailed off a little bit. So with that being said, the horse is going to go to C tier for me. And that's all my rankings. Now, if y'all agree or disagree, feel free to comment down. If you like the video, I can always do another one. But just let me know what y'all think, guys. Thanks.